Hey, what's up, suppers? This is Dave. We are going to get right back into the crisis soon. Sorry, it's been a while. I've just been lazy. I caught up on all the shows this week, so I am 3 episodes into the Arrow. That was exciting. 4 or 5, whatever we're up to for the Supergirl, the Batwomans, the Black Lightnings of the world, and of course, the Flash. So hopefully you all saw the recent post I put on my Instagram feed as well as on my Twitter. We did find the Flash stealing our candy over Halloween. We were not too excited about it because, man, this crisis has changed everyone. Let's get right into Supergirl and what I'm liking about where this is progressing. Now, the key thing I'm noticing is that Supergirl is not touching on the crisis as much as the Flash and the Arrow are. So we'll hold all of those questions for the end there, but I'm enjoying where Supergirl is really establishing, especially with the recent articles on Deadspin and what's happening with that, they're really fighting this good fight on integrity versus making a business out of something. That's interesting to me, especially since, here at the Painted Lines, we're in that startup mode. We don't really know where this is going to go. We expect it to be exciting. We expect to find a way to monetize our business, but, Supergirl is, the new owner of Catco. I don't know her name, Elena Torres, maybe that was the bad girl in this one. Anyway, Rojas. It was Rojas. Anyway, so what I'm appreciating so far is you've got Jimmy James Olsen, the photographer. He's now bought himself a newspaper in the small town of Calvintown after weeks of trying to figure out, should he be a curator at the Smithsonian or should he be running for Senate? I mean, really, who is this guy and why is his resume so perfect? How do I find all these great jobs that he has where he can just decide, you know what, I don't want to run for Senate this time. I'm going to go run the Museum of Natural History at the Smithsonian. It's fucking ridiculous. Spoiler alert. But now the most important thing is now we're going to have a sidebar of him trying to fight the good fight down in this is where he grew up, in Calvintown. And he bought the local newspaper. Again, not sure how much that costs, but it was a staff of 50. So even if they make like $25K a year, which is like on the very, very low end of what they make, apparently James Olsen has a crap ton of money just sitting around just doling out things. I don't know. We'll see. I think he's going to run through the struggles of it. But the more important thing, of course, Supergirl herself. Where is she growing? So from from Lex Luthor's sister, there's been some back and forth on that. I don't know if I totally agree that trust can just be built like that. And I think that's a big error in Supergirl's judgment. Everybody else should be quite skeptical that Lana Luthor is like all in, and Lana, I think it was Lana Lang. I was trying to mix it all my DC Super TV shows on the CW. What I appreciate the most is there is some realism there. I don't think I would have, if you told me there was a Luthor on the show and that they're best friends, I would still not trust it. And sure enough, I think that's what we're going to get to. Do I think there's going to be some level of sacrifice? Probably. I don't understand the Brainy character. Why is Brainiac such a bitch? I'm sure it was explained in last season or the season before that. I'm not really excited about this. Maybe it's me, but I need my future state Brainiac to be a bit less in love. Maybe that's the right word. Batwoman. How about that? Finally, we get some red-haired Batwoman. I'm really. It's about time. I think we were sitting on that for a long, long time. Slowing back off. Sorry about that. And what I appreciate that we're going to see here is that growth and where she's still looking for her sister. We found out that Alice is her. We're like 99% sure Alice is her sister. There's some back and forth going on it. I don't know where this show's going to go. I don't know if Alice and Kate Kane are going to be becoming best sisters again. I don't know if her ex-girlfriend is going to come back into the fold as the girlfriend because she's now married to a man. There's a lot more mysteries on this one. But of course, the only other big mystery that can be out there is, will Luke Fox don the cyber bat suit that he has worn before in the comics? Maybe. I don't know. I really don't have much bad things to say about Woman. I think it's a great origin story. I trust she has the skills and she's going through the funny part. I mean, in last week's episode where she couldn't catch the batarang because she's shorter than Batman. So Bruce has, everything diagnostic stuff to, maybe a 6'2" character, and Ruby Rose at 5'7", aka Kate Kane or whatever her height is. That's a good 5-6 inches of distance. So she's not bad at her job. She just, the science wasn't there for her. So more importantly, we get to we've seen a bunch of new supervillains come across, the Magpies of the world, and Killer Croc has been thrown out there. So that'll be interesting if that comes to be an actual villain. But again, these two shows have not. Or we'll get into Black Lightning next. So Black Lightning, of course, Pierce is back on the street. He's out of lockup. He's back in his old job, but he's not in his old job. So he was a history teacher before, and now he is the guidance counselor, apparently, which ticks off the new president, principal of the school, who says he basically got a raise, promotion. He's got a nicer office, and he has to do less work. So I don't know if we're all in agreement that guidance counselors don't do work. I don't know if that was the commentary we were supposed to get out of this, but I would agree. My guidance counselor, shouts to Larry Bias, didn't do a lot for me. He did a lot for other students, so maybe there is a version of Jefferson Pierce that does a lot for every student. But short of being my chess coach, I saw Bias like maybe 4 times in my high school career. That's it's not quite a lot. So kudos to him for failing upwards, as we say. Anyway, but the real thing is Painkiller's back. He's been here in the last couple episodes. He's been basically re-engineered to be a fighting machine. And I will tell you that the body counts in these episodes, we know that the Arrow just destroyed an entire universe. Okay, the Arrow's going to win in body count. But the next body count has to be Black Lightning. I mean, there is at least, it feels like a death or two on every episode. And it's quite the culture shock compared to some of the other shows where it's like, do no harm. You can punch them a bunch of times, but don't kill them. We know Batwoman has been known to kill in her comics. She's been known to use a gun. We know that's possible, but I mean, Black Lightning throws no punches. Painkiller killed his mom on the orders of, the head honcho at the, whatever the 3-letter acronym that they work at. I just. I don't know if that's maybe that is more believable, and maybe that's the point. Maybe this is the racial stereotype of the show is to say, like, look, this is what they grow up with, this is what they have to deal with, they being black people, and maybe that's exactly why I enjoy Black Lightning, not because of that, but it's more of like it is the most real version of a show that has metahumans, and I've liked it since season 1. I think it's a real thought. Like if I had kids, I was a superhero, and I took time off to raise my kids, and then they're in danger, you bet your ass I'm going to come out of retirement and save my kids. And that's kind of where we're at with this show. I don't know where, the Markovians of the world, that's going to be very fun to see how this war plays out, because they're building an empire of metahumans. We have a team-ish of metahumans. But this whole virus that's on the 3rd level of it, I don't know where that's going to go. And again, these 3 shows have not really hampered on the Crisis of Infinite Earths as much as the Flash and Arrow. So it does look like they're just in a regular old season, and I am worried about that eventually, once the crisis happens, they're just going to get kind of like, oh, let's add now 3 characters from Black Lightning, let's add 2 characters from Batwoman into the show, just to kind of interject in there. And I don't know if it's going to be a real seamless crossover. Like, they could have really done a full season of 6 shows based off, Crisis. We know that Legends of Tomorrow, they're going to, deal with the fallout, and there's going to be like another version of Crisis. But it's possible, Greg Berlanti might have missed the boat on this one. But at the same time, where the Flash is going and where Arrow has gone, it's made their seasons better. So, let's get right into it. From, what's up, suppers? I don't know if I have told you how much I enjoyed The Arrow. I do. I think it's probably my second favorite behind Legends of Tomorrow. And I know a lot of folks are falling off on it, but this show needed a shot to the arm. And getting rid of Felicity has shown that they're able to play with that emotion and really go through Oliver's growth. And that's why I'm very happy where that's going. The Flash, on the other hand, used to be, the number one show out of all of these. It was funny. It was, it understood where it sat in the timeline. And until recently, it's really just been, they don't even know that the second, Earth 2 has been destroyed yet. I maybe that's coming up next episode and next week, but, it's been 2 weeks since that's happened. And it hasn't really dealt with it, as we know that, there's been a lot of conversations on the internet about this, that a lot of the Flash's sidekicks were in Earth 2. That means they're not there anymore. Harrison Wells, he did. The version of the Flash, like the Kid Flash, the Junior Flash, Quickster, whatever her name is, she's dead. Harrison Wells' daughter, she's dead, which was Kid Flash's like on again, off again girlfriend. Giller, Grodd, he was in an ape sanctuary. They're all dead. This is a very interesting turn of events, because all that we've been dealing with is how folks have been dealing with the fact of the Flash being dead, because that's how he's been told by the Monitor that once the Flash dies, the world can be, like the universes can be saved. So that makes sense, right? That's one sacrifice. It sucks, but it's one for the many. And if you believe in the utilitarian of the worlds, Spock is all for it. I'm all for it. You do this. Even the Flash, Barry Allen, he recognizes that I got to do that, and it sucks, and he's not happy about it. And I think we had a great emotional thing from his pseudo father this week. He finally breaks down. He goes through it. He's like, it's not fair that he gets to go home to his wife and his kid and raise his kids, and then Barry and Iris won't get that opportunity. They won't get to grow up. And I think that's where the Flash has really been moving into, is they have these emotional scenes that just crop up out of nowhere, and they're fucking amazing. And I really felt for him. I think there's probably no better actor to do that. He took, Captain West is now a captain of this police station, and he's had to go through a bunch of, what's it like being a new job and new stressors. And now this latest stressor, not just his new baby that he has to take care of, but, oh yeah, he's about to lose his surrogate son. And it was touching. I think a show like that needed it, because it was kind of just going off like, oh, the newest speedster is always the same villain. And it's now that we know that Barry's is on a clock, he has a finite amount of time. They're dealing with it. They're all coping with it. Cisco's not happy with it. Nobody seems to be going through these worlds in the right way, and they're all coping with it. And I think that's why maybe with the other three shows that didn't really need to have to reset, maybe that's why they don't need to focus on the crisis, because again, in their arms, they're not dealing with it. But we know the Flash is, and of course we know the Arrow is on a world-hopping mystery tour. I don't think we all knew what this season was going to be about. When the Monitor came at the end of last season and took, the Green Arrow away, and we're like, Oliver, you must come with us. I don't know if we really knew what that meant. I didn't know if for the first couple episodes of this season we were going to just focus on, the Renees and the Diggles of the world. Focus on the kid a little bit, focus on Future State. No, we woke right back up into Earth 2 Oliver, who of course died back a long time ago, but he's now supplanted himself in there. He's kind of come back in. He's figured out a lot of things. And it looks like he's now on a mission to build pieces of some type of weapon or reset mode or whatever you want to call it to help the Monitor stop the crisis. Or is he building the thing to create the crisis? I think we're going to run through that. I don't really know. I'm not as familiar with the weapons that destroyed the Anti-Monitor. He went to Nanobarbette this week, and we find out that the Anti-Monitor and the Monitor might be the same people. The Anti-Monitor might have already come to Earth 1 and said, hey, I'm going to fuck up the timelines and I'm going to kill everybody. And, maybe they stopped them back then, or maybe the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor are the same people. A yin and a yang, if you will. We both know that the actor who plays him will be both characters, so it's going to be very simple. I think if I looked at the picture of Nanobarbette's Monitor, he looked more like the Anti-Monitor. So I have a feeling Oliver's going to get screwed on this a little bit. We've only got maybe about 6 weeks left. where he is going to think he is stopping the anti-monitor, but he's really fucking up the monitor's game plan. But that's okay, because you know who's right there working alongside of him? Lyra Diggle. That was a pretty big shocker when we find out that they were kind of working together and have been working together for a while. And that's a pretty impressive little turn of events. This show always seems to surprise me every once in a while. And of course, big spoiler alert on the last one is we now get to see the future spawn of these heroes. They got time traveled somehow, I guess by the monitor, back to 2019. So this is going to be interesting. So when it just happened, Zoe, who is Renee's daughter, growing up, little Zoe, she had just been killed by Diggle's son. So yeah, there's a lot of shit happening where there's a lot of infighting and things like that. And now the sons and daughters of Oliver, Bronze Tiger, who is technically being raised by, we saw in this episode, the little kid there, he is raised by the Diggles. That's gonna be a tearjerker of an episode when we find out maybe how he died. And but more importantly, like, they've now been sent back in time. No Zoe, because she didn't make it. It's going to be interesting how they cope. How is Renee going to now shelter Zoe? Because they've not really been in it as much. I think we're going to see a lot of that come into play over the next couple weeks. My predictions, luckily we haven't done like a Halloween episode, so I think that's great. They didn't go for the stunt episode like a lot of the sitcoms do this week. But more importantly, I think, eventually maybe Brainiac, from a Supergirl standpoint, might be contacted about the Crisis on Infinite Earths, because right now they're just fighting off a second version of another Green Martian. Not saying that's not a big deal, but they've got their own fucking problems. Eventually that's going to get resolved, and they need to figure out what's happening in their universe, because I guess the point is everything's going to get merged together. So no Earth 1, no Earth 2, no Earth 3, it's all going to be just some Earth 616, if you will. What's from Batwoman's standpoint, I mean, obviously she needs to continue on her hero journey. When she came into the crossover last year, she was already established as a hero. She already had the red hair and all that fun stuff. So I think that we're looking backwards in time. We're going to see maybe they bring that to play a little bit. Maybe we'll see an episode where they come in like quickly crossover, and then we'll have another episode where it's the full-blown crossover. Black Lightning, of course, is building a team of metahumans. That's going to probably come back in a positive way, I hope. I'm crossing fingers that Jefferson Pierce is going to be like, wait a second, I've got a team of villains and heroes that can fight together to stop whatever battle is occurring. And then, of course, we know the Flash has a litany of a rogues gallery of villains and heroes to choose from, as does the Arrow. And then I imagine the Arrow sacrifices himself. There's been rumors that there will be another series called Black Arrow, the Green Arrow and the Black Canaries. Fine, whatever. I don't know if that's like supposed to be set in the future. It is what it is. But I think what'll be fun is how the Legends of Tomorrow is supposed to kick right off of where that happens. So, we're not seeing anything with Ray Palmer. We're not hearing anything with the White Canary. They're going to be part of the crossover. We just got to see how that happens. I think we know that Oliver, from his contract, from himself, he's done. He absolutely will probably sacrifice himself to save the day instead of Barry Allen's The Flash. And, that's what's going to set us up for the beginning of the spring of 2020, is that we're going to have no Oliver, we're going to have a Flash, we're going to have to deal with that. And I'm looking forward to it. Suppers, respond on the YouTube, on the Twitter, do whatever you need to do. On Instagram at SuitUpTPL. Send us your theories. We don't know everything, and we want to know what your thoughts are. We'll try to do like a mailbag some of these times, but expect to see a consistent Saturday morning Crisis on Infinite Earths coming soon.
Bye.